Okay, so you're exhausted. You get into bed. And the second the lights go off, your brain decides this is the perfect time to replay a conversation from 3 weeks ago, or plan tomorrow, or worry about something you cannot actually do anything about right now. Here's the thing almost nobody explains properly. That is not just stress. That is your nervous system switching into a kind of high alert right when it is supposed to be winding down. And it does something worse than just keeping you up one night. Over time, it can actually teach your bed to associate itself with your mind racing instead of with sleep. So this video is about that pattern, why it hits particularly hard for women, balancing a lot in midlife, and how to actually interrupt it before it becomes what your bed expects every night. Let us actually name what is happening, because it is more specific than just being stressed. When you are lying there with your mind racing, your body is genuinely switched into high alert, cognitively and physically, in a way that directly works against sleep. Your heart rate, your muscle tension, your mental activity, all of it stays elevated exactly when it is supposed to be winding down. And this is not the same for everyone. Some people's sleep is barely touched by a stressful thought. For others, that same thought can completely derail the whole night. It is a real difference in how sensitive someone's sleep system is to stress, not a difference in willpower. So the racing mind at bedtime is not a willpower problem. It is a specific nervous system response, and for some people, it is simply a stronger response than it is for others. But here's what makes this worse than a single bad night. Why does this tend to get more entrenched over time instead of just resolving once the stressful period passes? Here's the part that explains why this so often outlasts whatever originally caused it. When stress keeps you awake, you end up lying there in the dark, alone, with nothing to do but think. And that unstructured, isolated time is, according to the research, an actual breeding ground for more of the same racing thoughts. So the wakefulness creates more of the exact thing that caused the wakefulness in the first place. And if this repeats enough nights in a row, something else happens. Your bed itself starts to become associated with lying awake and thinking, instead of with sleep. Which means eventually just getting into bed can start to trigger that alertness, even on nights when nothing in particular is bothering you. That is why this so often persists well past the original stressful event. It stops being about the specific worry and starts being about a pattern your brain and your bed have quietly learned together. So why does this seem to hit particularly hard in this specific stretch of life? There is a genuinely well-designed study on this, the Swan Sleep Study, which followed 330 women aged 46 to 57 for years. It found that chronic stress was directly linked to measurable sleep disturbance, and this was not just people saying they slept badly, it was confirmed using overnight sleep monitoring in their actual homes. And this held up even after accounting for other known causes of poor sleep. Separately, research specifically on working midlife women found they report more rumination and worry about daily tasks specifically at night, tied to something very concrete, the combined weight of paid work and unpaid responsibilities at home. Not an abstract stress. A very specific, very real dual workload most people never see quantified. You know this exact moment. It is 2 a.m. You're not thinking about anything urgent necessarily. You're just running through tomorrow's schedule, or a message you sent that you're not sure landed right, or 100 small things nobody else is caring but you. And the frustrating part is not even the thoughts themselves. It is that you know, in the moment, that lying there thinking about this is not helping anything, and you still cannot make it stop. That is not a personal failure. That is a nervous system doing exactly what it is built to do under a genuinely heavier mental load than most nights actually require. Quick honest check. When your mind races at night, is it usually about something specific and solvable? Or is it more of a vague, looping kind of worry with no clear endpoint? Drop it in the comments. Because the fix is actually a little different depending on which one it is, and I want to know which is more common in this community. Before the fix, one honest correction, because I do not want to oversimplify this. It would be easy to say your brain just gets more reactive as you get older. That is not quite what the research shows. One large study actually found that how keyed up you tend to feel overall goes down with age, not up. What stayed the same across age groups was how much a given stressor specifically disrupts your sleep. So the honest version is not that your nervous system is working against you more than it used to. It is that midlife, for a lot of women, is genuinely carrying more chronic stress load, more competing demands than earlier decades did. The system reacts the same way it always has. What changed is what it is reacting to. 1. Give the racing thoughts somewhere to go before bed, not during it. A written brain dump, 5 minutes. Every unfinished thought or task onto paper before you get into bed. This does not eliminate the thoughts. It gives them a place that is not the inside of your skull at 2 a.m., which is often enough to bring that high alert feeling back down. 2. If you are lying awake and thinking, get out of bed. This is the single most important step for breaking the learned association. If your bed is where the racing thoughts happen, your bed learns that lesson. Get up, sit somewhere else, and only go back to bed once you feel drowsy. This is uncomfortable advice, and it is also the step with the most research behind it for actually undoing the conditioned link between your bed and wakefulness. 3. Name the 2 categories from earlier. If the racing thought is specific and solvable, write down the next concrete action and let it go until tomorrow. If it is vague, looping worry with no clear resolution, that is a sign your nervous system is just doing its own thing, not a problem actually waiting to be solved tonight. And naming that difference out loud can help you stop chasing a solution that was never there in the first place. Your mind racing at bedtime was never a discipline problem. It is a specific, well-documented nervous system response. And for a lot of women in this exact stretch of life, it is being triggered by a genuinely heavier load than most nights actually deserve. Save this video. The next time you're lying there at 2 a.m., you will know exactly what is happening and exactly what to actually do about it. Share this with someone who has told you their brain will not switch off at night. Tell them it has a name and it has a fix. If you are not here to stay average, subscribe.